Show. This is the Big O Show.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ADX. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The Sultan's choice for excitement and a caravan of savings awaits at Toyota of Hollywood. Your wish for savings has been granted with discounts of up to $4,500. Take a magic carpet ride in a Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our Grand Bazaar where you'll find epic savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Miami Dolphins fans, time to rock out with another Dolphins pregame show. Big O and the boys are ready to give you the latest information, injury news, gambling insight as we get ready for kickoff. The pregame show is brought to you by Welton Rayom, Toyota of Hollywood, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, RM Contractors. The broadcast is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley. Here's your host, the Big O, Orlando Alzugari.
All right. Do me a favor before we start. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure the audio is good because we're flying solo. I know the mic is on. So hopefully give me the thumbs up. Make sure before we start. Appreciate you all. Don't forget. Also hit the thank you. Thank you, True Fin Fan. hit the thumbs up on the like button. Very important that you get that shit going. Good morning to you all. Too soon? Too soon? Too soon? Anyway, so we'll get you ready for the Dolphins and the Jets today. Don't forget, post-game, we'll have David Furones, Chris Perkins joining us. So we'll talk a little bit about the matchup, which I'm not feeling really good about this matchup, I got to tell you, because it's just kind of like the history. You know, it just when you have this history, you have a bad feeling. You know what I'm saying? You have a bad feeling. So it's kind of that's what I'm walking into today with the Miami Dolphins. They are favored by 2.5. The over and under is 41. Dolphins are minus 150. The Jets are plus 125 on the money line. We've got the wise guy picks for you also, just in case you missed it on Friday. He went 3-0 last week. So you'll know he took the Browns, by the way. Took Indy and the Bills. So we'll get into that. We'll give you that stuff. We got a couple things that we want to talk about, get you ready for the pregame show, of course. And if you got any questions and comments and all kinds of good stuff, you can send it in. We got a poll question also. I can't do it here on the that's a Sean thing, but it's on my Twitter page. Okay, so go to Big O Show and put in a vote there. And let me see where the vote is right now. I asked, will the Fins up beat the New York Jets today? And yes, 76% and only 24% say no. So you can get it there. Go to the Twitter page or X or whatever the hell you want to call it and put in your vote. On the college football side, we're waiting for the poll to find out if the Canes are in or out and the whole Alabama, Notre Dame, Miami situation. It is what it is. And again, like I've said to all of you out there, if they're out, I understand why. I get it, and I understand. The system has never been rigged for the Canes. It's always been rigged against it. And the Canes, like I said, when you're the Canes, you got to leave no doubt. Okay? And they've left plenty of doubt, unfortunately, because of those two shitty losses. And it is what it is. And the system is more rigged for the Blue Bloods and Notre Dame. It always has been that way. When Cleveland Gary scored, it's against Ohio State. It whatever it is, polls, this, that, it's the history. You got to know it. You have to live it. You have to understand it. And as much as you want to change it, it's not changing. So if they don't make it, I get it. I'm not going to lose any sleep on it. Why? Because Mario's a buffoon that got smoked and embarrassed by Louisville, and that's the loss. What you have to do with these people is you can't leave any doubt. You can't put yourself right in the same area, because if you're in the same area, they're going to lean to those people. They're going to lean to the Bamas. They're going to lean to the Notre Dames 99% of the time. That's just kind of the way it goes, dude. And so I'm not surprised. You know, it is what it is. And if you're going to lose very early in the season. Don't lose late. And Miami lost late. So they did everything. They lost late. They lost late to a shitty team. And they put themselves, and plus by Duke winning the ACC, it now discredits the entire conference because they went and beat the team that was 7-1 in the conference. So since you had a 5-way tie at 6-2, it just looks like there's a lot of sewage at the top is what it looks like with the ACC. So unfortunately, and by the way, it's what it is. It's a lot of sewage at the top. And if Miami wants to, separate themselves next year, run the table now. Now you cannot lose a game next year. Okay? Because your team will be even better next year, even more loaded. But your coach is not a high-level coach. He's just a high-level recruiter. He's a high-level rah-rah guy. He's a high-level character person. He's a high-level father-like figure. He does everything else perfect, except on game day, he does Mario things, and this is why we're in this position. So, the old Canes never left anything to doubt in the Big East. You got to do the same thing in the ACC, and that's what some of you just don't seem to understand. So, if they don't make it, I'm not going to lose 1 ounce of sleep. I'm going to blame Mario Cristobal for being a mediocre game day coach. So get better on game day, Mario. And next year, you're not allowed to lose a game. If Mario loses 1 game next year, he has already underachieved. Like what the guy does here on Sundays every single year. So, and one story that's kind of disturbing that came out, and Dan Graziano and I think it was Jeremy Fowler also talked about it over the last week and a half or two. And the fact that they get any buzz from this building that tells them that, they like him and he could be saving his job for next year. I mean, what does that tell you, Dolphin fans? Doesn't that tell you that Stephen Ross hasn't learned the damn thing? And don't tell me, the coaching group next year is not robust. And what's robust? To keep the same loser around? The same dysfunctional, disorganized loser around that stutters at the press conferences? That's your answer? This is why, you see Inter Miami win a championship, because that ownership doesn't screw around. It doesn't work. They change it right away. Vinny Viola figured it out right away. Mickey Harrison figured it out right away. This is a bad owner. And the fact that you hear all that kind of stuff, don't tell me that the coaching is not. There's somebody out there that can be had. It's just you're not good enough to find them. And by the way, here's the worst part about everything that goes on with Stephen Ross. He has nobody around him whatsoever. So to hear reports that you could keep the guy around for another year, where would that make any sense whatsoever? How I mean, I don't know if I'm a season ticket holder, or for those of you that are season ticket holders, I would have to question you really hard if they're bringing back McDaniel and you're still getting your tickets again. I would have to question that. Like, really? You're going to throw your money away like that? Just like that? Why don't you just go out for a couple vacations with the family instead? Why don't you put it into the Panthers? Why don't you put it into Inter Miami? I'm not exactly sure. Your money can be used in so many better ways than just flushing it down the toilet, because that's basically what you're doing. If you bring back McDaniel, you're basically kissing the season away. I mean, because at this point, if you think McDaniel's going to turn anything around or become a great game day coach, you're pretty stupid. I mean, look at the last 2 weeks. They've barely beaten 2 horrible football teams. And they're playing another horrible football team, but it's a division rival, and it's on the road, and it's in high 30s to low 40-degree weather. Not favorable for Miami in any way, shape, or form. Even when they're actually really good, the cold weather is really bad for them. Now they're not very good, and they got the cold weather. So it's just, I just really wonder where these stories come from, and if they're coming from multiple people who are credible, by the way. I like Dan Graziano. He's legit, dude. I like Jeremy Fowler. He's legit. They're not just going to throw shit out there. So somebody in that organization is telling them, no, we like McDaniel, and he could be saving his job. And wow, what a message to send to your season ticket holders, to your suite holders, to your sponsors, that the status quo is all right with us because they're making a lot of money. They are winning. It's not the winning you and I want, but they're winning. Remember that. And that in the end, Stephen Ross, we didn't go on the field, but hey, man, look at the bank account. It's another year of concerts. It's another year of It's another year of the Dolphins. It's another year of the practice facility and the hospital and the F1 race and yada, 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 yada. And look at our bank account. Look at our property values soar. So, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, exactly, Oscar. Buy some Bitcoin with that money. But that's a terrible signal to send when the guy that you have running your team is as incompetent as it gets, and he can barely beat bad teams. Oh, wow. We beat the Bills. Yeah, I know. I get it. It's, miracle wins are, they get us excited. Just sad. It's sad. It hurts as a Dolphins fan for me. You know what I mean? It's just like another stab. Like, we don't really give a shit about you people. We're making money, and we'll think about even bringing him back. Like, why would that even be a thought? You don't know what you're doing when you fire the GM before you fire the head coach. That's not how real franchises do it. A real franchise would have put Weaver in his place early in the season, like I said, after week 3, and then see what you got in Weaver. Now we'll never find out what we got in Weaver, and we're going to end up losing Weaver. Because Weaver's going to be pissed that he didn't get a chance. So he's going to go, well, if I'm going to get a chance, I'm not going to ruin it here. Let me go somewhere that if they want to use me as a head coach, then I'll go there instead than here. That's what's going to end up happening. But, hey, it is what it is. Let's get to the inactives, ladies and gentlemen. We start with Quinn Ewers. He will be the third quarterback. Kind of knew that already this week. Quarterback A.J. Green, the third. Linebacker Andre Carter, the second. Aren't these the new signees from the new guy? So he's done nothing so far. They're still, if they win, when they're coached right, they're still winning with Chris Greer's players in the end. Kendall Lamb, Taj Washington, the infamous Taj Washington, and Matthew Butler. So they're not missing anybody important in the inactives. Nothing that is of, note or whatever overall. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button, por favor. It's very important. Also, hit the notification bell, because that way, it'll tell you like 30 minutes ahead of time when we're about to go on. It'll tell you when we go on live. You'll get the notification, all that kind of stuff on your phone, TV, whatever it is that you use, iPad, however it is you use to connect. So that way you kind of stay in touch. Don't forget, you can also make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. You can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. EJD Construction, as you see there, one of our proud sponsors. And Chris Perkins will join us on the postgame show with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. They are fully insured, liability and all. Eric has been a sponsor of our program for many years. Many of you have used him over the last 10 years that he's been with us, from stations to platforms and all of that. 305-433-4843. Homes and businesses only, by the way, no condos. But give them a ring, 305-433-4843. Custom home construction, major home remodeling, whatever it is. You need to build a second floor. You need a new roof. You need to, one of our listeners, I say it because it's kind of rare. Unfortunately, I had a fire and they need to remediate the entire home. They did that too. They do all kinds of stuff. Doesn't matter what you need. You need a fountain out in the front, you need a pool, whatever. They do it all. Call EJD Construction, 305-433-4843, and tell them that we sent you. All right. What else do we have? Congratulations to Inter Miami, by the way, winning the MLS Cup over Vancouver. That was beautiful. Nice job.
Unfortunately, Heat lost yesterday to the Kings. They've lost 4 or 5 now. They're down to the 7th seed. Maybe now they're more in reality than they were when they were the 3 seed. We'll see. We'll talk about all of that tomorrow on the show and all that. But I just wanted to go over some of the stuff locally that went on yesterday that obviously affects our local teams. I was talking about how bad it is with Stephen Ross and how he doesn't get it, and he still doesn't get it. And, even stupid shit coming out of that building that people are saying, oh, well, Mike McDaniel could be saving his job. Like, that's like really dumb shit to be saying as an owner or the Miami Dolphins. And so Kevin Gallagher on Twitter, X, whatever, he's a great follow. He does a lot of historian stuff, and there's a lot of Dolphin historian stuff that he puts in there. It's at Kev, K-E-V, 6160. No, G, K-E-V-G, 163. Okay. If you want to follow him, that's fine. If not. But he put out a tweet this morning on December 6th, 1970. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Young fans, pay attention. Listen. Okay? Because when you hear from your dad or when you hear from your grandfather, okay, because I'm in that area where I could be your dad, I could be your grandfather easily, okay? So pay attention, all right? So Kevin Gallagher posts today on December 6, 1970, the Finns defeated the Patriots 37-20 to clinch their first ever winning season in 1970. That was the first winning season in franchise history. From that moment on, for the next 34 years, they had 2 losing seasons. For the next 34 years, they had 2 losing seasons. So when you talk to your dad or your grandfather, or you see me on the show, and we lived all of this, and we saw everything from perfection to Marino to the Killer Bees, whatever, Zonka, you name it. And we kind of lived it. And we saw what great coaching was and consistency and all of that. And then you see our frustrations nowadays. It's what we were and what we are now. It's scary. Like, then you were respected, you dominated, you commanded everybody's respect. Okay? Nowadays, you're laughed at, you're not taken serious, you're a joke. Like, it's completely different now. The image of the Miami Dolphins now compared to the image of the Miami Dolphins then. And maybe some of you that are young are kind of tired of hearing about it. I understand. But you're tired of hearing about it because you're as frustrated as we are, but the other way around. You've never experienced it, so that makes you even more frustrated because you only live the crap. And those of us that lived it, it's like, holy shit, we are light years away from where we were because we saw where we were. And we know what it takes to be that every year and the players it took to do that every year. And then we look at today's players and today's rosters and today's coaches and today's front office and today's owners, and none of them meet the criteria. Scary shit, isn't it? Scary shit. December 6, 1970 was the first year they clinched their first winning season. And from that moment, for the next 34 years, 2 losing seasons. And then what have you had after that? I mean, that's sad, dude. That's sad. That is sad. But Kevin's good follow because you get to see a lot of the past that he puts up, which is, actually refreshing to have. It kind of helps a little bit. Anyway,
Don't forget Cash App or Venmo at Cash App or Venmo at Big O Show. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation and send in your questions, comments, and insults there. TJ Superman is number 1. Dolphin Dave. Jeff in Long Island, I see. Oscar Rojas. Let's see what else. Stephen Harris. Good morning to you, sir. Duke won the ACC with 5 losses. What a joke. Miami stays home. You lost, and that's it. Quit crying. Well, it's a shitty conference. They had 5 teams tied with a 6-2 record, and one of those 6-2 beat the 7-1, and it just shows what a joke the entire conference is. So then Miami's wins are not taken nearly as serious either, and their losses become an even bigger joke. So, yeah, it just kind of the way it goes. It is what it is. One-Eyed Jack says, I started a new job this week. It's been pretty crazy. He hasn't been able to watch live. Well, thank you, sir. Whenever you are able to watch and hit the like button, we appreciate it immensely. Lisa Rose. True Fin Fan says, Big O, have you ever been to Prime 112? Brother, that place is really nice. The filet mignon and the wife had the mac and lobster, great food. Yes, I went to Prime, years ago. Yeah, but I haven't been there in a long time. Yeah, so it's still good. Good to know. Good to know. It's hard to maintain when it comes to restaurants, but I haven't been there in a long time, dude. Let's see. NorCal in the house. George Cole. Robert McGinnis. Thumbs up to you, sir. Thank you for giving it up for us. Appreciate you. Magnus is in. The Raging Dolphin Maniac. I don't have much faith in McD, so I expect them to lose today. I'm sorry, but I think they're going to lose today. I don't know why I have this feeling in my stomach that this is one of those typical Dolphins-Jets rivalry games. Crazy shit happens. And one more thing, we'll get to it. Let's see. Rock Bear is checking in from Southwest England. Respect, sir. Thank you. Don't care how we beat those stinking Jets. Yeah, I'm with you. Just win. It would be nice. I am terrified of this game. I hope I'm so wrong. I hope they blow them out, man. One thing we know about Tua, he will always perform well in cold weather. Corso in the house. Thanks for making me laugh, dude. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. That's cool. Skull Leader. I live and lived with that with the Canes, and you're right. You want no doubt win out. Exactly. And the Canes put the doubt there, and if they get burned by it, I'm gonna go, bro. This is what you can't be in the same level with Notre Dame and Alabama. And you can't be in a deciding argument. These people always pick them. We're going to be at a disadvantage. Win the goddamn games, dude. Win the games. Why would you lose to Louisville? Why would you even lose to SMU? Why? Because Mario's a mediocre game day coach. That's all. Pretty simple. That's all. Notice after those losses, then they started opening up and trying more crazy shit and trying to put more points in the. Why weren't you like that from the get-go? It's the same shit always with Mario, dude. Always. Same shit. Different year, same shit. Andrew says, so true with Mario. Every week I see the same silly mistakes over and over. Talented team, but poorly coached team. Yeah, that's how it goes. And that's why if they're left out, I'm not losing an ounce of sleep. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm pointing fingers at Mario. Is who I'm pointing fingers at. Stop screwing around. And next year, you can't lose a game. You might still get in even with the loss of a game, but I'm going to tell you that you're a disappointment and you're a letdown once again, because the way you have recruited, you should kick everybody's ass. Florida State, Clemson, Virginia, whoever you play, Notre Dame. I don't think Virginia is on the thing, but Clemson, FSU are, and so is Notre Dame. You should beat all of them with the talent you have coming in next year. You should find the quarterback and you should win. I don't want to hear any more excuses. And if you don't, then remember what I told you 2 years ago about Mike McDaniel, that it would be the hot seat year? Well, we have a stupid owner. It is what it is. Next year will become the year that starts to warm up that hot seat for the following year for year 6 for Cristobal, if he continues in this path of underachieving. What else do we have? Jamie Zoria, Renegade, says Wisconsin today, 15 degrees, wind blowing, and 9 inches of snow on the ground. Jesus, Renegade. Lisa sends me pictures too. I don't know how you people deal with that stuff up there. I want to move more south. What else do we have? Big O, after listening to A-Chan on the podcast, I realized why Miami hasn't won anything for 40 years. Even with good ownership, you aren't winning when players go to strip clubs right after games. Players go to strip clubs anyways. Dude, Michael Jordan was gambling till 2 a.m. You have a shitty coach. You have a shitty owner. You have a shitty front office. This is what happens. Don't blame that. Blame the people above that run the joint. They don't know how to run a team. They don't know how to build a team. They don't know how to find the people to run a team. And that's really what it all is. Don't, whatever. H-Chan, he's going to clubs. Isn't he balling? Isn't it contradictory what you're saying? Because if H-Chan's if he's going also to the strip clubs, isn't he like one of the best backs in the NFL? I'm wondering, is Jordan Brooks going to the clubs? Because he's the leading tackler in the NFL. Dude, please. I don't want to hear that. If you're a great player, if you're coached well, if you have a team that has discipline, if you have a great coaching staff, if they know how to prepare you and all that kind of stuff, there's a time and a place for everything. So if you work your ass off all week long and you win and you ball, and then you want to go to the club or you want to go out with a girl or two or whatever, that's you get to enjoy your time off however you want to enjoy your time off, my man. I don't have a problem with that. And that's not the reason why you're not going to win. Because if you think that everybody that goes to Super Bowls and wins Super Bowls, they're all choir boys, you're out of your mind, dude. You're out of your mind. So, and in football, I don't want a bunch of choir boys, to be quite honest. So it's just you don't hear about it. It's just H-Chan's, he's a really nice kid, okay? I'm not going to look at him like a rocket scientist. He's just a phenomenal football player. So maybe he's not going to handle all these kind of situations the right way, because he really shouldn't be saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're not playing well, you have to also, as a player, think, okay, I'm talking to people and this is going to get, broadcasted, and then whatever I say is going to be controversial. Let me not do that and throw my teammates under the bus when we're not performing well. But if you're performing well, oh yeah, we have some fun, we celebrate, we let it, and people will look at it completely different if you're winning, but if you think that athletes are not going to go to strip clubs, then I guess you think that all rock stars get married and they stay faithful, traveling city to city. Yeah, they're all angels, all of them, every single one of them. Come on, man. Let's not feed into the bullshit fan crap and the media that feeds you that and gets you cranking with that whole stuff. Guys have been going to strip clubs forever. Are you coached well? Are you prepared? All of those kind of things. Okay? Because nobody partied harder than Michael Jordan. And nobody was better than Michael Jordan. Lawrence Taylor did more cocaine than Tony Montana did in Scarface, and was still the greatest defensive player in the history of mankind. Okay? So lots of guys have been crazy off the field, and they get it done on the field. Lots of guys have had dual personalities, and somehow or another they figure shit out. And by the way, your generals, your CEOs, a lot of leaders, a lot of people, yeah, they also blow some steam off in ways you probably don't know. Okay? High pressured people, you just don't know what they do in their off time. So I think you live kind of a sheltered life, my brother. That's what I think. I think you have a little naivete to the way you look at life, because everybody doesn't do it with choir boys. If they did, they'd all go get Tim Tebow. How'd that work out? Let's see, what else do we have? Canes have no business losing to SMU in Louisville. That's right. That's right, Renegade. That is right. Ted says, been living the Dolphins soap opera for over 35 years. Yeah, both you and I, man. Justin, you don't think they don't have strip clubs in New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, Houston, etc.? Of course, dude. Give me a break. Listen, before phones and camera phones and all that kind of stuff, okay, I used to go to strip clubs and bars on the road, and I have been talking to assistant coaches, scouts at strip clubs back in the day. Okay? Hell, back in the day, I remember I was in a big old group with a couple of coaches, a couple of agents, a couple of players, and a kicker. Won't mention his name, but he got so loaded that he was, let's just say he was wrestling in the strip club. Now, it was a fun type of wrestling, and we were all laughing. And, so somebody else was going along with it. So we were all laughing about it. But just kind of tells you how life used to be a little bit. We didn't talk about it. We didn't take pictures. We didn't report that because we were doing our jobs. We were there to get information, trade information, draft information. That's what, it's respect what coaches that I know were married and they're going into the champagne room with one or two girls. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing to say. I'll never say who the names are or anything. Names that you guys would know. Okay? All right? And by the way, not one of them Dolphins. Just so we're clear. From completely other teams. All right? Names you would know. And it was a different world. And I used to go to bars and smoke cigars with guys in the early 2000s. And, people weren't taking pictures and posting, and none of that shit was going on. And so they would drink heavy. There's a head coach that's in business right now that I was drinking with him till 2 a.m, and smoking cigars. Again, I got nothing to say. I'm not going to say who and all that kind of stuff. That was a lot of the early days of me traveling and all that kind of stuff. And I had the pleasure of being able to hang out with them when they were releasing. Okay. I was at a bar that was closed private in Mobile, Alabama. Okay. Where there were scouts all over and they brought in strippers. Okay. That was not legal that night where I was at. One, it was indoor. Everybody was smoking cigars. The women were brought over. It wasn't at the establishment that normally is for those establishments. So, if you think that life is lived by some kind of choir boy standard, I'm sorry, dude. Take it from somebody that's lived the life and has traveled and has hung out and has seen a lot of shit. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's just not the way things go. People that are high level, and I don't care if they're doing stocks. I don't care if they're in banking. I don't care if they're lawyers. I don't care if they're football players. I don't care if they're agents. High energy, intense people have to relieve themselves one way or another. And some guy may do skydiving, and another guy may do strippers, and another guy may do a lot of drinking. I don't know what it is. Everybody's got their vices. Everybody does it. But to think that life is lived the way, that's fan bullshit that they've created for themselves to try to put their players on some kind of a pedestal. And that's also media that, they want to just kind of feed into that kind of stuff. If you're John Morant, that's different. You know what I'm saying? If you're the idiot that is obviously doing stuff that is getting in the way of your life, then there you go. But if you know how to compartmentalize and you take care of business, you can go relieve yourself however you need to relieve yourself, bro. Okay? That's your life, dude. So if you want to sit there and play video games and that's what you want to do, God bless you, man. And if you want to go out with strippers, then hey, God bless you. Go ahead, bro. That's what you want to do. That's what you need to do. You need to go skydive. You need to go race a car, whatever it is. Everybody has a different kind of release. But don't be shocked if some dude's doing it with women or drugs or gambling. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just that's just kind of the way it goes. So I don't believe in any of that kind of stuff. Do your job. Can you do your job? Great. What you do in your off time, that's your off time. Just make sure it doesn't get into your job. That's all. That's the way life goes. Leon Fresco. They will have to overcome 4 historical issues: Jets, normal choking, weather, and Tyrod Taylor kills Fins. Yeah, he's had a couple of good games against us. Oh, man, what else do we have? Big O, with your permission, a new poll. Who's the better Cuban head coach from Miami, Mario or Manny Diaz? I've never heard it called Mario Cristobal County. I've seen Manny Diaz County. I've seen the Manny Diaz County shirts because I got this at Caneswear. By the way, you can go to Caneswear, get 10% off. Use our code BIG010 online. If you order over $99, you will get free shipping. Where's my Caneswear billboard? There's my Caneswear billboard right there. Online at caneswear.com. Let's see. Big O, the original OG of partiers, Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, baby. Thank you. Thank you. That's a very good post right there, my friend. Justin says they don't have to be choir boys. Jordan partied harder and also locked in and played hard. Miami players party hard, but they don't play hard and they damn sure aren't locked in. Justin gets it, bro. Justin gets it. I don't want to hear this shit about partying or whatever. You're going to have guys that party. You're going to have the Cam Wakes of the world. You're going to have the Richmond Webbs of the world. And you're going to have the Zach Thomases of the world. Those are guys that, or Tua, or I don't know. I don't know this team as well individually, but you're always going to have a couple of those guys that they're not about alcohol, they're not about women, they're about family, they're fine with fishing, Zach Sealer. Zach Sealer is a family guy. Zach Sealer, it's his off time. Okay, let me go wrestle some gators. That's his thing. That's his thing. Some guys want to wrestle strippers, like kickers, and some people want to wrestle gators. I saw an NFL executive grab a large woman's breasts in a restaurant because he was drunk off his ass. The things I used to see on the road, bro. I was doing a show once. It was called Perfil Deportivo. Sports profile in Spanish. So I had players on every week. And they would be on the show and interview and all that kind of stuff. They would come on to do interviews. So I finished up the show one night and I walk outside to go to my car. And wouldn't you know it, I catch one of the players smoking a joint. And he sees me coming and he quickly turns off the joint on a drop of rain on a car. Guess whose car? I go, yo, man, that's my car. I'm like, I don't care if you're smoking, dude, but don't turn it off. Oh, my bad, You guys, you live some of you live an absolutely sheltered life that you think that these guys are, choir boys. It's just, they all have their edges one way or another, dude. What it is, I have no idea, but it's there. I can guarantee you it's there for some of them. The ambassador of North Korea was a great rebounder of all time, Rodman. That's a good one. I'll tell you what I am concerned about today. Let's get back to this matchup. And this is, I am not bullshitting you here, okay? Because you guys know that I'm a big supporter of the kid, but I got to question a lot of the shit that's been going on. I got to be honest, okay? Tua kept the Saints in the game last week. This week, he can't do that in these conditions. If he plays the same kind of game, the Jets will win the game because they don't have an interception. I think they're going to get their first interception today. So unless Tua starts to find Tua of 2 years ago, which we're still waiting for, because he doesn't look anything like that dude. I've given him more than enough time to try to kind of find it. And I know the line sucks. I know he doesn't have time to get to his third or fourth progression. I know it's a mission just to get to 2 with that shitty line. I see guys, coming at him and all that kind of stuff. So I understand the situation he's under. I understand he has a shitty coach. I understand that the coach doesn't know how to prepare people, that his players don't know how to run all the right routes and all that kind of stuff, and they constantly make mistakes and all that. So I know that Tua doesn't have the real support he needs anyways. I understand all of that. And I've used that as a crutch for him. But it's also up to him to make some plays. And now he's not making the plays that he normally would make. And so that's where I have to question that in a game like today, if Tua plays the way he played against the Saints last week, this game will be a loss. Tyrod Taylor will not put the ball in harm's way much. He will try. He's kind of conservative in that sense. Now, he will take deep shots. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, they have to go behind Achane and that running game and all of that. But Tua's going to have to make some throws. And he has not been making the routine throws that he normally makes. It's a horrible sign. I don't know what's gone on with Tua. I can't explain it, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I could. I wish I was smart enough to do that, but I'm not. But I will tell you that Tua is a huge factor in this game, because in the post-game show, we could be talking about if they lose. I put it this way, if they lose, I have a strong feeling that Tua will be the main reason why they lost, to be quite honest. And if they win, I hate to say it, but it's going to be like I've seen in the past and recently. It's going to be the running game. It's going to be the defense that is going to win this. I am not seeing Tua as the difference maker right now. I'm not seeing that guy that had pinpoint accuracy and the offense was flowing through him and all that. And he has a running game now more than he's had in the past. He's had a dedication to the running game more than he's had in the past. This should make him a better player, and it hasn't. So I don't know what's wrong with the kid. I don't know if they ruined him already at this point, but he's not the guy that I saw 2 years ago. So whether he lost it physically, mentally, whatever it is, he has no edge. Maybe he needs to go to strip clubs. Maybe he needs to pick up some hoes. I don't know. Whatever it is, he's lost whatever he used to have. It's gone. Okay? And I'm sorry, but I don't think he's just going to find it today. I'm not naive enough to think of it that way. I'm just not, So I hope I'm wrong, but this is the reason why I don't like this game, because I don't like the way the quarterback is playing. And then now you add 30 to low 40s degree weather, which is notoriously bad for the entire Miami Dolphins franchise for decades. For decades, they've never played well in the cold weather. Well, this team doesn't play in the cold weather well either. So we'll see what happens. But I am concerned about that. By the way, the wise guy picks, just so I can make sure I go over them here. And I'm going to pull up the Hard Rock app, which, by the way, you can sign up with Hialeah Park through their website. You can sign up for the sports betting app, and at the same time, get on down there. They're giving away a Mercedes, dude. Okay? Freaking Mercedes at the end of the month there. So come on out and join us. He's got the Browns -4 versus Tennessee. Right now it is at -3.5, so it's even better than what he's giving you. So you got a half a point gift, but he likes the Browns. He likes Indy -1.5 at the Jags. It's at 2 now. Okay. And then he likes the Bills -5.5 versus Cincinnati. It is 6 now. So that's what the line was on Friday. So we give it to you there, and we'll see how it ends up working out. Michael Saylor, by the way, posted today, which means a big purchase of Bitcoin for him tomorrow. We shall see. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. True Fin Fan, thank you for the love on the super chat. It's simple. Tua is a punch-drunk player. Could be. At this point, whether it's punch-drunk, whether he's not being prepared by Nick Hicks, whether it's confidence, whatever, the hip injury from last year, a combination of all of this, it could be, Hateful Steve is in the house on Venmo. Speaking of quarterbacks that are better than Tua, what did you think of that Mendoza kid last night? That hit he took to start the game would have landed Tua in the ICU. I agree. Kid looked good yesterday, man, against Ohio State. He made some throws. I like him, but their Dolphins will have no chance at him anyway, Steve. So it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? But I like him. I like what I've seen from Mendoza. I can't. And yesterday was a nice test because now you played Ohio State in the Big Ten championship and you win. That's big time right there. That kid showed me some something there. So yeah, he's got it. No doubt about it. Somebody's going to draft him in the top couple picks, and it won't be the Miami Dolphins. It will not be the Miami Dolphins. Anyway, what else do we have here? Antonio says if the Hurricanes manage to sneak in, Mario will probably end up losing it due to poor coaching. You know, Antonio, that's the beauty of getting in. That's when Mario will get to redeem himself. And if he gets eliminated right away, we're all going to go, you see, you cried about nothing. You got in the playoffs and you lost right away. Or if you win and advance, you can now then stick it to people and say, no, you see, we belonged here. So that's the beauty of getting in. You have a way of trying to justify your existence. But if you lose, like you mentioned, right away, then that's when the Canes Nation, the ones that are crying, y'all need to just shut up and go away, bro. And just shut up. And it'll be like this is what it's going to be. If you left Notre Dame or Alabama out for Miami, they're going to say you should have put them in instead of Miami. That's what everybody else is going to say. And the Canes Nation, the criers, y'all would have cried, and it would be an embarrassment while you cried because you cried for a team that couldn't even get past the first round of the playoffs. So it would be good because it'll justify something for someone on one end or another. So I'm a Canes fan, so I hope they get in. But I'm not a naive guy. I know how the system works. I know how it favors those people. So I totally understand if they don't get in. Miami did it to themselves by losing to Louisville. So, you gave those idiots an opportunity to leave you out. And that's what you can't do if you're Miami. So, and if you haven't learned that already, Mario Cristobal, since you've been around, like I know it, well, you should know it already. You've lived it. Don't lose to Louisville, bro. Don't lose to Louisville. Don't even lose to SMU. But okay, one loss. That second loss, that puts you in a really difficult situation. Dolphin Dave says, stop, Big O. Tua has 4 touchdowns today. Just keep running the ball. Go Dolphins. Stephen Harris is with me. He's concerned about Tua too. Let's see. Tua could be turning into Wentz. It's a good comparison. Very good comparison. Let's see. Fins lose today to Nick Folk field goal. That old man keeps hitting field goals, dude. That is crazy stuff. What I'm seeing is what we've seen with shot fighters. The reaction is a fraction slow, the speed gone, the mind no longer throws signals as fast as before, and that's when you get caught. That you're also talking about a guy that's lost confidence. Same thing. That happens too. You can regain that. If you're punch drunk, you're definitely not going to regain it. But if you're not, focused and you lost confidence, that's what happens too. Ocala Joe says, even in a shitty season, beating the Jets always leaves a sweet taste in my mouth. So I'm taking a snort of hopium for this game. If they can play, Joe, if they can actually play like responsible football and not do all, goofy stuff and create mistakes, they should win, actually. But that's my problem. Is McDaniel going to screw it up? Is Tua going to screw it up? And that's kind of that's really what I'm concerned about. So we shall see. Utah Fins fan says, let's see how the season ends, and we will for sure know if Tua is our dude going forward. I think they know it's not the dude moving forward. I think they want to move on, but it's either do they want to swallow the salary already on June 1st and take a 2-sided hit this year, next year, and then and then move on? Or do you hang on for one more year and go through all of this? It's hard to sell that to fans. And it's also not fair. Let's be honest. All right, folks, we'll be back for the post-game show. Appreciate all of you out there. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button before you go. We'll be back in the post-game right when the game ends. David Furones will join us fresh from the locker rooms. We'll also talk to Chris Perkins, and we'll get his thoughts after the victory or the defeat. Don't forget, go to Big O Show on Twitter and send in your vote if you think the Dolphins will win or lose today. And right now, let me see where we're at. What's the percentage? Still at 74% now that the Dolphins will win, and 26% that the Dolphins will lose. So vote it, baby. It's there at Big O Show. All right. We'll see you for the post-game show. Y'all be good out there.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.